Hello, how are you? Welcome to my channel. My name is Ruth and today I'm going to do my update to my favourite project, the Panner's Pan. This is created by Elizabeth, aka at Cookie Pans, and I'll have linked all that information down below. I love this project. If you've watched this before, you know I love this project. It is one of my absolute favourites. It's all about shouting out other panners and just telling the world how amazing they all are. I love it. So let's get to my update. I'm looking to see. Yes, I think that's where I am. My notes are getting a little bit as time goes by. So first up for Kana, aka Kana's Closet, I have in the Blend Bunny Cosmetics the Dollhouse palette because I won it in a giveaway from her, and it was so. I was so happy because I was so mad to try this palette. So I've been in for a No Pan Left Behind. Now I still have quite a way to go with this because I wasn't really feeling it that much in the summer. But now that we're into autumn, I think I'm going to adore it. And yes, we are into autumn. I'm so freaking happy. Mainly these 3 rows I think is what I have left. Yeah, those 3 rows there. So these ones, yeah, these 3 rows. So that is my goal. I haven't used it at all this month actually. So my goal is now to try, because there was another palette that I'll mention in a second that was in longer. Was she in longer? I'm all over the place. Anywho, doesn't matter. This is staying in. I still have 3 rows to go, but I think this may be a rollout next month. We shall see. We shall see. Because they work so well together as well. You can complete a complete look. Create a complete look. That sounds a bit better English, doesn't it? You'd swear it wasn't my first language. My only language. Staying in Kana's Closet. Moving on. Oh yeah, there we go. There's the one. The palette that is rolling out is from Carolyn. So Carolyn Nicole 89 on Instagram, but she's also on YouTube now, and I'm so happy about that. I love it. I love seeing her on YouTube. It's just awesome. So I had in for her the Natasha Denona Love Palette because in her list of palettes of her favourite for last year, this was one of her top ones, and it was in for No Pan Left Behind. Now my initial thoughts in this palette was I didn't love it. Didn't love it. Wasn't mad about it. But, you know, it was in my collection. It was half off. I'm happy. I'm not feeling hard done by or anything like that. I actually ended up really enjoying this. I created some really lovely looks that I wouldn't really have thought of leaning into much. So a lot of these berry tones and that, they're not colours I go for that often. But they really made my... dear Lord in heaven send down a dove to help me with my speech. No, that's a crow. I don't want a crow. Thank you. The berry tones made my hazel eyes pop. They looked so green. I loved it, and my hubby loved it. He was like, oh, I love that. That's a lovely look in you. So when he actually, you know, he'll always tell me I look gorgeous, but when he really kind of points out something, you kind of go, oh, interesting. So I actually ended up liking it way more than I thought I would. So thank you, Carolyn, because only for you, I wouldn't have really delved into this and would have just kind of went, it's in my collection, I won't really use it. I now really enjoy it. Happy days. But it means Caroline will be rolling out. You have to go follow her because she's amazing, she is gorgeous, she is such a wonderful supporter of this community. And to have her now on YouTube is just such an absolute treat. I love it. Next up is Lucy Gonzalez. So Lucy is Lucy and Stuff over on Instagram. Another beautiful human being who is, again, a wonderful supporter and part of this panning community. I love her. And for Lucy, I had the Drop 10 or the Elf Electric Mood De La Soul Cream Face Palette, or Quad, whatever you want to call it. And she had this in her Drop 10 before summer, so that's why I brought it in. I had it in for 22 uses, and I have met that goal. So I ended up scraping out the cream highlighter because it had gone a little skew-iff. It had gone a bit suspicious. So we removed that because, you know, we're not about that over here. But I really enjoyed this. I do think it's possibly something I will need to roll into maybe Partners in Cream next year, because, or even Graveyard maybe. Who knows, we'll see. I feel like this could turn very quickly, because even if you're only using one shade, you're obviously opening the palette and you're opening it a lot of air is getting in. Doesn't seal as tight maybe as a pot or, you know, other forms for cream products. So, but I thoroughly enjoyed this. I love it. I prefer the blushes definitely to their pot blushes, and I prefer the bronzer, I think, to their pot bronzer as well. I feel I could, yeah, I think that's, yeah, fair to say. But yeah, that means Lucy will be rolling out as well, so please go follow Lucy. Like I said, she is an absolute doll, and she does so many projects over on Instagram, and yeah, I love her content. I just love her. So next up we have Taru, who is Cruelty Free Panner, and I have in the Revolution Bronzer Reloaded and Holiday Romance. And the reason I have this in for Tara is because she's cruelty free, which obviously goes with the name, but she definitely tries to go further, where she includes not using products whose parent company is not cruelty free, if you know what I mean. So like Urban Decay, for example. Urban Decay, cruelty free, but their parent company is L'Oreal, who aren't cruelty free. Hope that makes sense. Whereas Revolution is a cruelty-free brand through and through. I have this in for 22 uses, and I have used it 16 times to date, so we have another 6 uses to go on that. So Taru will be staying in. Next up, I have Misty. Misty, I know everyone here follows Misty, because if you're following me, you're sure should follow Misty. I brought in Misty's product because it was in April, I think I brought it in, I think so, which is her birthday month, and she did 30 days of purple. So I brought in the Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde palette, and I brought in the shade Libra, which is this shade here. And I have this in for 30 uses, because she was doing 30 days of purple, and I've used it 18 times. So we still have, what's that, 12? About 12 more uses? Not too bad, actually. But yeah, I kind of try to use it as much as I can with other looks that are cooler toned, or maybe have pink or purple tones, etc. as my kind of transition shade, and it's worked very well. Really enjoying this palette, actually. I wouldn't purchase any more of her palettes in this style unless it was a very different colour story, because I find an awful lot of her shades lean very pink berry toned. Even if they don't look it in the palette, when you go to apply them and use them with other colours, they come off that way. And I feel like her Rose Quartz palette is pretty much the same. I don't think there's a huge enough of a variety for me to warrant purchasing it, because they're not cheap. I did get this half price, I waited. And the same goes with the Naughty Nude. You know what I mean? It seems to be a bit of a theme, I feel, with Huda, in that she likes her pinks and purples and berries, and that's fine, whatever you're into. But to have all your palettes kind of lean that way, I don't know, seems a bit pointless to me. But that's just my personal opinion, which, let's be honest, doesn't mean a whole lot. Next up is Mari from Patriot Makeup. I believe Mari's doing well, and she's just had a busy all summer, and maybe YouTube just isn't a priority for her right now. Completely understandable. But I had this in for Mari. This she had a project called Show Your Sparkle, and I had in 3 tatty glitters for her to either have 5 uses or hit pan. And I have used them 5 times or more even, and I've hit pan, so I've met both goals. So it's these 3 here. I hope you can see the pans. I know it's kind of hard to see pans and glitter shades, but I have indeed hit pan on all of them. I used them on my eyes once, and no, because I just feel the formula has changed. It's older. My eye got a little irritated. Let's not risk it. Let's not risk it. But what I've thoroughly enjoyed them as is nail polishes. So I will continue to use these up as nail polishes and get my money's worth out of them, because they are quite beautiful, quite beautiful. I wish I had used them more when they were still, you know, in their prime. But there you go. things. That's just the way it goes when you have a collection that's a bit out of control. You don't get everything as much as you would like to. So Mary will be rolling out. Next up is the gorgeous Amy Melissa. Oh Amy, I love you so much. I think you're awesome. Amy had the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Stick Foundation in her, I want to say Partners in Cream, and she decluttered because she didn't like it. It's very fair. I have her in for 22 uses. I have used it 11 times. Have it on today. This foundation looks lovely when I put it on first. And it looks really nice and, you know, great. But as the day goes on, and we're only talking a few hours into the day, it just, if you put your hand to your face, even with powder and everything, even now, it'll come away. And if you scratch your nose or something, and like, I am very minimal with my application with this. I will literally go, and I'll just dab where I want some foundation. You know, I'm not plastering it on my face or anything like that. But like if you scratch your nose or something and you're just like, what's wrong with my nose? And there'd be just nothing there. The foundation will be gone and be stuck up your nail. Not nice. This is how much I have used. I'd only used it a couple of times before bringing it into this project. It was kind of over the top of the plastic. But yeah, that'll be staying in for Amy Melissa. Next up is Shelly from Unapologetically Shelly. I always have such a great time watching her videos. I have to say, it's always a fun time over there. And for Shelly, she has a What's on Deck series. Excuse me. And she had lip liners that she hadn't used yet in this What's on Deck. So I said, right, that's what I will bring in for Shelly. So I brought in liners that I hadn't used yet, and I want to use each of them twice. Because once I don't feel like it's a strong enough opinion. Any more than that, or any more than two, I'll be too taxed and won't get through them. So I brought in 2, 4, 6. I brought in 7 because that's how many I hadn't used. The Mel Scandal one I rolled out last month, or last update, because I got my 2 uses and I quite like that. This month I am rolling out 1999 Precision Color Pencil in the shade Voros, I'm not sure. But that's there, it's quite a pleasant shade. It's a nice dry formula. I like a dry lip liner because I feel they stay better and I can get a better precision around the line. I like a lip liner. So I've used that 2 times and that will indeed be staying in my collection and I quite enjoy it. I have used this one, the Sephora, what do you call it? Sephora? It's a Nothing But Nude Contour Rouge Gel Lip Liner. Come off. I'll show you. So this is kind of very browny, nudie shade. A bit warmer, mustardy for me or something. I don't know. Don't think it flatters me that well, but it's a good base for nuder shades. So I've only used it once. I still have to use it a second time. So that'll be staying in. And then these are the other 4 that I still need to use. Haven't used them at all yet. So they'll be staying in. I've used you once. You need to stay in too. Next up is... who have we got? Oh, and Sophia from Metropolitan Creole. I love her. And Sophia, if you're watching this, throw up some pictures of Martinique for us because I would love to see it. It sounds awesome. She went up in Holliers for a family kind of occasion. It just sounded like heaven. Anywho, I have not. That's not what I have in for her. And Sophie is French, and she's just stunning. And her makeup, I adore her makeup. But she used to work for Kiko. And I brought in, she does Project 10 Uses as well. So I brought in for her the Kiko Milano Intense Colour Long Lasting Eyeliner in 07. And it is a beautiful green shade, look at that. Yummy. It's in my bottom lash line today. And I have it in, obviously for 10 uses, for Project 10 Uses. And I've used it 4 times to date, so I have another 6 uses to go. Now that we're getting into autumn, I'm going to be wearing more greens and, you know, lovely colours like that. So this will be staying in and I'll probably get more use out of it, hopefully in the next month. So that is staying in for the gorgeous Aunt Sophie. Next up is Anne Elizabeth Murray, up there in Toronto, Canada. And how to say it like that, because that's how she always says to, signs off her videos. And for her, I brought in the BH Cosmetics Lost in Los Angeles palette, because she had it in her, she does a series where it's like Panda palette. So it's eyeshadow palette, it's a face palette, and it is then a roulette of other palettes in her collection that she wants to just get some use out of and kind of do no pan left behind, or use them a certain amount of times. I can't remember exactly, but I decided on no pan left behind for this, and this is what this looks like. And that's, let me tell you right here and right now, this has to be so far my favorite BH Cosmetics palette, for its consistency across the board of enjoying every single shade I've used so far. I've only 2 shades left. I have this shade and this shade to go. I do have it on my lids today. I hope you can see. I have the peaches on. All the kind of peachy tones. This is just sumptuous. I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, I say it again, I love it. It's just every shade. I haven't had a dud in this palette. I love it. And I didn't expect to love it as much as I do, because pastels wouldn't necessarily be my go-to. And they can be quite wishy-washy and maybe not that impactful. This is divine. Divine. I loved it. 2 shades left to use. I'll be sad to put it away. In a way, in another way I won't, because it's a very summer kind of spring palette, and we're, you know, as I keep saying, in the throes of autumn. But Anne will be staying probably just till next update, because I only have 2 shades left to go. So that means we have some roll-ins. I'm so excited because I love to bring in new people. Shut up, girl. So first up, Louise, aka Lola. I don't think you understand. If you don't follow Lola and you want to have joy and positivity and just fun in your feed, go follow her, because she is just, I can never watch one of her videos and come away feeling down or sad or whatever. She will always lift you up, because she's just, her excitement and her enthusiasm and her love for it. Oh, I love her. She lives in Sweden, and she is just she's just a beautiful soul, shines through. You know when someone you just know. But we both have a love for reading and kind of fantasy style novels and Lord of the Rings and those kind of things, and you'll see where I'm going with this. And she kind of looks like a beautiful little elf. I just love her. So I have brought in the e.l.f. Halo Glow Setting Powder. And I have this in for 30 uses for Lola. Please guys, please go over and give her a follow, because I just love her, and you just won't regret it. You just can't, because she's just an absolute joy. So that is in for Louise, aka Lola. Next up is, I'm bringing in 2 Irish ladies, and I hope you'll go and follow them, because they're both wonderful and I love them dearly. First up is Rita from 10 Red Lipsticks. And Rita, oh my god, if you do the Welcome to the Hellmouth project, and if you love Buffy as much as I do, you have to watch her videos, because each update she has gone in depth into each season, and it's just, I love it. But also she is such a eyeshadow palette enthusiast. So if you like eyeshadow palette videos, she's, you know, now she's not long on, that was my earring falling off. It's all fine. She's not long on YouTube, but she has been on Instagram for a long time, and she has quite the following there. But please go follow her on both platforms, but especially YouTube, because she's newer to it. But she is just, I love her, and she's an Irish woman we like to support. So for her, because she loves her palettes, but also because she is such a kind soul, that she very kindly sent this on to me. I can't tell you. I can't tell you how excited I am. So this is the Sydney Grace Coffee Talk palette. And tell me this isn't just cool toned yumminess in a feckin'... Look at it! Look at it there now. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that beautiful? I can't wait. I can't wait to get my grubby little mitts into it and just play with all the cool tones and just have a really fun autumnal time. I wonder if you took a shot every time I said autumn, would you be hammered by the end of this video? Quite possibly. But this is coming in for the gorgeous Rita, and I'm going to have so much fun. So that's coming in for No Pan Left Behind. And then last, but by no means least, is Rachel. And Rachel is at Beauty Bites on Instagram. And again, she does gorgeous eye looks. She always does the most beautiful eyeshadow looks. And she gives a great close-up. You'll have to teach me, Rachel, how to do these close-ups, because I'm so bad at doing that kind of stuff. I haven't a clue. And she's a project panner, and she's Irish, and she's wonderful, and I love her to bits. And she finished the Laura Geller Baked Highlighter in French. No. She did Dolce de Leche. She finished Dolce de Leche. And it's the same size as this one, and she was kind of minimalising it because she's like, oh, it's only the smaller version. Sorry now. Take that only out of that sentence, because this to me is just, you know, how many grams is in this anyway? 1.8 grams. That's not only. That's not nothing like. Sorry no, and it's a baked product. But the shade I have is French Vanilla. So I'm bringing this in honour of her Dolce de Leche. Oh God. There's any Italians watching. Look at, just crucify me now. Bring that in for her. I have it in for 30 uses as well. And I predominantly use this actually as an under eye setter thingy. Powder. Yeah, so this is coming in for the gorgeous Rachel. So please, please, please go and give her a follow, and tell these people, if you go and follow them, that you're here because you were watching this and I was shouting them out and giving them lots and lots of love, because I adore them all immensely, just like I adore this community. Colin, awesome. So yeah, that is my update for this project. I hope you enjoyed it. I do also have anyone that I've previously had in this project. What am I up to now? I'm up to 26 different project panners and people on YouTube and Instagram. So, you know, if you haven't watched these videos before, go on down. If you're looking for project panners to follow, there is just an amount of wonderful, wonderful people down there that will just fill your feed of fun and insights and kindness and love for makeup and skincare and project panning and everything. I just, shut up talking rather. They know. Okay, they know. Guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video, and hopefully I will chat to you in the next one. Take care. Bye. Slán.